Welcome back to the 2017 Summer Promotion Tournament. It's match point between Team Liquid and eUnited. eUnited has chose the red side, chose. They have allotted to go onto the red side, but they do have a troublesome time now. Backs against the wall. We're looking at Team Liquid with game point, and they have not stopped their aggression since the beginning of game 2.
Yeah, Liquid up right now 2-1 in terms of game score, looking for the match. But haven't changed sides the entire time. TL is now going to be blue for the 4th time in a row, and eUnited are going to be red for the 4th time in a row. So they're very highly valuing the counter pick and the ability to actually pick in the 2nd round very early on, more than they value something like the Lulu, which has been doing okay for TL. But it's also been enabling people like Doublelift and also Piglet to do quite well, including Rainover, who I think has been a big standout for this entire series. His matchup versus Gilius has been really the biggest matchup here in terms of what decides these games.
And I think TL was a little taken by surprise here as well with the aggression that eUnited came out with. That first game, Gilius was all around the map. As they say, God Gilius on his Lee Sin, his broken shard would let him pick it, and we have not seen him on that since that first game, and there hasn't been that much of an impact. Like you said, Rainover was able to take over the jungle, and it was really Rainover trying to repair what Gilius was doing in game 1. So we see TL with a lead, and they're able to continue catapulting small advantages. Here we get into game 3. Could be the same story. If TL can get that early game lead, it may be tough for eUnited. Let's find out.
Yeah, and that's the big difference between the first game and even the second game had an early lead for eUnited off of the back of Matt kind of diving in and dying. But you can't count on that. And this right here, eUnited dropping the Camille, adding the Graves, may add the Rengar as well to ban away 2 junglers from Rainover, because he's just been having great performances. But I mean, he's already smashed a game as Kha'Zix.
Give him the Rengar.
Give him the Rengar.
Never really liked to play it that much, but why not? Always will. Final ban, 12 seconds here for eUnited. They're taking their time. They basically know what they want.
Give him the Rengar.
Give him the Rengar. Lulu's still up. Which one do you give away? That's the protection for Doublelift. Compositions that you've basically been creating things around with the awesomeness of Rainover and Piglet just doing a whole bunch of work. It is going to be the Lulu locked in, though. They do prioritize that very, very big.
Yeah. And, oh my goodness, they're actually going to leave the Rengar for the 2nd phase for Team Liquid, 2nd round here.
Good God, Miss Molly.
Now they're going to have Rengar and Lulu. I know Rainover has typically gone for the tankier Rengar, but we'll see. Doesn't seem like it's an instant lock-in here either. They're still deciding. They're going to use their 2nd part of the phase, because you get 30 seconds per pick, so they're going to use the first 30 lock-in Lucian, buy themselves a little more time to discuss this. They don't seem completely sold on it yet. Yeah, look at that. Value ban then, if the Rengar is still going to be left up, to actually go for the Graves instead.
I mean, there's so much comfort in his Kha'Zix. Why try to throw yourself for a loop by saying he may be stronger, it may be better, but I can still jump in, you can still get the wild growth, and we're still going to execute the crap out of people if they can get in. It's all easier said than done. What do they get denied with? Not much. Just a foot to the face if it comes to be.
Yeah, it's interesting because it looks like they didn't want to play the Rengar because they want to have a jungler that's a little bit more active early and has very high damage potential. Because if you pick the Rengar into the Kha'Zix, after the armor reduction to Rengar, it's really kind of Kha'Zix's duel to win.
True.
And now, every time Rengar would jump in, if eUnited had picked it, he's just going to get polymorphed. Lulu will be able to stop him with polymorph, stop him with a really fast wild growth knockup. But this is also not a great matchup here in the jungle either. Lee Sin, historically, it's one of the reasons that he dropped off, was not good into Kha'Zix. And Kha'Zix wins those duels, like, I would say 75% of the time. So, he dropped off. They're still going to pick it again, like you said, where maybe they get the God Gilius back here.
Yeah. The Cassiopeia ban, last one here. Yes, it will be. And 30 seconds for the final Phase 2 ban from Team Liquid. What will it be?
It banned Renekton last time. If you're afraid of Vladimir, you ban the Vladimir, and then they pick Renekton. If you're afraid of the Renekton from Licorice, you go with that instead. I feel like you don't change much because the Vladimir did not really pop off, and you can still pick Ahri into it, which they did last time.
I think Piglet's Ari has been pretty scary coming into these matchups. Definitely waiting for their pick before they get their final say in what happens on the Rift. That Gragas we did see in the hands of Lorlo.
Yeah, Nautilus
in
still
that
up.
game too.
So they're going to pick the Gragas because if they pick Nautilus, Gragas gets picked into it, and it's a good matchup for the Gragas where he can punish the Nautilus, and they don't want that. So they're going to go with the Gragas top. Nautilus will be most likely to lock in here for Lorlo himself, so we'll have a lane that he's okay in, but could get destroyed, given that there's a possibility of a Sheen coming through for an Iceborne Gauntlet really early on from Licorice.
Ari, why not? It's really comfort at this point. The Kazakhs and the Ari played so well together last game. Matt has had Lulu every game so far. Team Liquid's able to fall into kind of this rotation of having the same thing, having comfort from game to game. We've seen that a bit in the eUnited bot lane, but other things have switched. Ken in last game. We're going to get Vlad back in now for Fox. We're seeing a LeBlanc and a Jace. They're really stretching out that pool to make sure these compositions work for themselves. And now Licorice should take another champion, Gragas, as we said, to that top lane, as we're done with picks and bans.
Yep, same bottom lanes here for the two teams. In game 3, same. So game 4, pretty much exactly the same composition for Team Liquid, minus the fact that they have the Kazakhs instead of the Graves. But for eUnited, different top lane, different jungle, and then the rest of it is the same here. So they're looking for a little bit more disengaged, to be honest. The Gragas and the Lee Sin both have good engage and disengage, so you can go either way with it.
And this becomes even a bigger test now for eUnited, going through the pressure of a good season, and they may have faltered towards the end of that split to find themselves, or I should say the playoffs, to find themselves in second. Now, backs against the wall in game point, and even more pressure on as Team Liquid can make a few mistakes this game and continue to go on to another one, but they've been playing very strong, and eUnited has to answer back in full. Hashtag TL win, hashtag EUN win, as we are game point for Team Liquid here in the Summer Promotion Tournament.
Yep, looking for the set, looking for the match for themselves. Or Team Liquid, you win this, you move on to the Winners Deciders match tomorrow, where you can promote back into the LCS. If you lose this, you go to an elimination match. And the loser of that can no longer compete. And then they're out, they're in Challenger.
Very interesting how those games could happen here in the other stream, and their first 2 games went 1-1 as well. Pretty crazy as... Hey, it's still even though. Is it really a spoiler to have a best of 3 to play? We'll see what happens here. Like we said, momentum needs to be in the favor of eUnited in the early game, and eyes on Reignover. High kill participation in the last 2 games, and really the gun that has been shot in the beginning to start the race for Team Liquid. Once he goes, the team follows.
Yeah, Reignover doesn't stop either. He's been doing a great job in this entire series. But once he's off the ground, he's definitely ready to go. But everybody had to calm down on his team. And so I talked about it at the end of last game. I'll talk about it this game at the start of it, where for Gilius, easy to gank for bottom lane. Pretty sure you can get some kills on Matt. Top lane, also not bad to gank for. So he has an easier to gank for lane now in the top side than he did previously. Mid lane, still kind of a nightmare, and you'll have to counter gank this. Whereas Reignover can go to mid, he can go to top, and there's the possibility that he goes to bottom against 2 low mobility carries. So Reignover has all the options.
Yeah. He usually makes use of just about every one of them, too. It's quite amazing.
Red buff start into what? Lorlo's going to check this. See, oh, Raptors aren't being started. Maybe it's a bottom side, or maybe it's a red buff start.
Yeah.
Those would be the 2 options. You say, okay, maybe they're doing red buff, but can't check it because I'll face check right into 2 people, and maybe they kill it.
You'll know in a second, right?
Yeah. And then on the bottom side, it's either that or it's a leashless blue start, which very uncommon, especially for a Lee Sin.
Yeah. Seeing Licorice as well get to lane late. He knows what the deal is, so they have the timing of junglers if they do the regular path. No one does that these days. Easy pickups. 5 and 5 CS here, so actually a bit of harassing as well. Going into that first minion wave, usually you don't see the CS missing, or the ADs missing too much there. Piglet as well, getting pushed up to his turret. He gets lucky to keep it right at that 3/4 range, so he doesn't have to deal with the turret damage as well.
Yeah, if you're Gilius, instead of ganking for mid lane, because you can gank for every other lane,
right,
ward for him. Give him a control ward on the bottom side. Do what you need to do to keep him safe, because Fox has been picked on a little bit, and he's also been in a situation where he never has the vision to actually push up and feel safe doing so. The guy is losing his turret really early on in the game because of the push advantage that Piglet seems to amount for himself. So just give Fox wards so he has permission to push, even if you're ganking other lanes.
Simultaneous clears on the Gromp. Both junglers not really in a position to get a gank on either lanes as they're pushed up right now.
Nope, Matt's going to take a lot of damage here from the plants. So is Definitely, though, from the auto attacks back.
Doublelift making sure that trade, not so much in their favor, but making it more even as it comes around. Wards haven't been placed yet. 3 minutes, 30 seconds is usually when your support starts thinking about getting himself some vision for the bottom lane.
He's right.
And Matt's actually still hugging towards the bottom, so they're not going to be able to get
dash.
They're
going to go.
Onto Matt possibly, wards in, gets the cripple down, the kick comes first, the cripple comes second, so no initial slow. That's double bust over to Doublelift.
Yeah, he used all of his summoner spells. Now Zeyzal definitely overextended. Here comes Rain over.
They're going straight for Definitely. There's the hit, almost follow in with the spikes, but they can't get the kill to come through, and Doublelift is going to have a very nice lane for himself.
Easy pickup there. That was Gilius. Believe the Q didn't really connect the way he wanted it to. The heal came out from Doublelift. We'll watch this again here. The root comes through onto Matt. Doublelift E'd into the bush, so they know that the Relentless Pursuit is on cooldown. Has to flash it. Auto, Q, hits Matt, but then it's not enough damage, and the flash still doesn't save him from the turret shot that's flying in. He's looking for another gank down bottom. Definitely.
He wants his buffs back.
They haven't backed. Yeah, I think sometimes you're just like, I want those buffs back. Give me those buffs back, boy. And you go for that bottom lane.
Not gonna happen. They don't. And with so many summoners down, it would be very, very dangerous.
Yeah, but I think if you could land a Q onto something like Lulu, then you can go for it. It's a very gankable lane, like I said. It's the right idea from Gilius, but way, way too ham on the execution there. Like, literally, that gank should have just been Gilius comes in, Doublelift flashes away, you auto, you Q Matt, Matt flashes to the other side, you're done. You back off.
Happy with it.
You back off. It doesn't have to be a kill.
Also saw it on Licorice. Got word that his TP was canceled in a possible play to the bottom. So as Low uses his, there won't be too much of a discrepancy. But that will be up for Licorice, so we have to keep an eye on as we come up through the game. Another Negatron Cloak to start things off for Fox, just as he did last game. They're going to be pretty much the same here in mid. Piglet going for the 3 rings, blinging out to start off the game.
Making sure he has enough HP.
Yeah.
And enough mana regen too, because he'll get mana regen off of the kills to stay in lane against the resourceless Vladimir. Licorice, not too close to 6. He'll have the body slam. He won't have the knockback yet for Gilius.
Much earlier back for Doublelift this time. Was a Cutlass and a Call last time. And now it's a Call and the Scepter, so he gets the lifesteal a lot earlier here in the lane. Hang out and make sure that CS is his. Good Thunderlord's damage from Zeyzal as we get a bit of a trade back and forth. 46 to 34 with a slight advantage, obviously with the kill and CS to bot lane. Yep,
Fox gets to walk up after the missed charm there and return some damage. And yeah, Gilius actually keeping up in CS this time. So what the desk was saying about him falling behind after the ganks, not happening this game. He's gotten the gank off, I guess, in a way. Got turned around on him, but he's still staying up there in CS with Rain over.
Very dark side of the jungle for eUnited here. You're going to see Rain over with a clear walk. He'll be face to face with Gilius in just a second. And Gilius actually has no idea he's in his jungle. So
yeah. Also, there's nothing on this side for Gilius to really do anymore. He picked up all those camps, and now he's going to go to the red. And this is Piglet roaming. They know that the flashes are down. This could be a 4-man dive on bot that they're trying to stop, so good to actually kind of sniff that out. The ward actually placed in the middle of the lane, spotted as well, so they know that Rainover is there. So you'll see them try to push up a little bit here. Be like, let's just not be underneath the turret so the Kazakhs can jump us.
Good movement there and good eye by eUnited to have on the mini-map, making sure the wards are spotted out.
Yeah, very early tracker's knife as well for Reignover after the first back. But they've been tracking Gilius now.
Ooh.
Oh, that's the leap down.
Was a little anticlimactic, but it's all right. The dance out here. So this means the lanes may be able to have a little bit of fun. You always get a bit more aggression when the junglers are kind of facing off. You know there won't be intervention here. We go top lane, hook in with the body slam.
Barrel.
And there's a barrel. See who gets a little love top lane. No rotations just yet. It's going to separate the distance enough. So they disengage now to the mid lane. Piglet low on mana. Baits in Fox. Baits him in good. That's the pool over to Gilius now. Zazel's already going to have the roam on. It's actually going to be from Deftly as well. But I think he's just too far off to provide any crowd control for the fight to continue. So both teams trying to throw the bait out there and reel someone in.
Yeah, that was a mid lane summoner spells, both down, but then Zazel blows both of his there to try and pick up something. That Fox barely gets out, whereas top lane, I actually liked the trade that was going on where Licorice was throwing the ultimate out and trying to get Lorlo down, but it's because he has potions, because he has the corrupting potion, and he also has the happy hour passive, so the Gragas trading is actually fine. And looks like he's maxing the E as well, maxing the body slam for lower cooldown and just the CC. So no barrel damage, no really intense wave clear with it either, or slow, just going for the body slam cooldown.
Great push on the top side. There's an anchor toss you see from Lorlo trying to get to lane that much faster. He's not too far behind in CS, but this does help Licorice catch up to have those next waves be his advantage. 83 to 65 as we move to the mid lane. Fox has been able to outfarm Piglet as he has just been on the map more this game. Much safer play from him and really dodging a lot more of Piglet's skill shots, which he was just getting caught by over and over, and Piglet was basically prepping him for a solo kill in the mid lane.
Almost happened again. Almost happened again there with the
Very
Ignite.
true, very true.
But Fox had the Hemo Plague on, gave him some HP back. And so Fox has been doing an okay job in this matchup. Now himself and Piglet still not off to that early lead we were seeing before, but vision. It's coming down to vision again. Liquid just have more vision right now. Gilius finally has his tracker's knife built into his warrior enchant. So you expect to see more vision control around mid and bottom side, because that's where you really want to play. Your Gilius.
Nice little tag by both. Cutlass already there for double F, so like he said, healing back up. And a little bit of safety towards mid. So top lane doesn't get any love this game. We saw it start off right away from Gilius in game one, and now it's been mid and bot, mid and bot. TL was able to activate Reignover and Piglet basically 2 games in a row. And now here it looks like Fox is, they told Fox, or Fox as well, tells himself, play safe. And we'll see what Gilius can provide for the other lanes.
Oh, Hawkshot does spot Reignover. So they know Reignover's there, but you can see he doesn't even stop, keeps pushing forward because they have bottom push advantage.
Yeah.
And so Matt's going to help him. And it's warded in there.
Ooh. They are just able to pinch the river that much quicker. Fox pinched between 2. Gilius gets a hit. Hope the Foxfire Orbit Deception over the wall. Woo! That's going to be Fox down as they do continue the fight.
Yeah, Fox was looking for the heal off the Hemo Plague, but also looking for the heal off his Crimson Rush. It wasn't enough. He was trying to actually get a kill there and had to hard commit at that point, but Double Lift is there in time and helps out. And that mid turret, it was already about 2/3 HP, and it's just been taking a beating again. Here comes TP from behind. This is one that could be matched, but the arrow whiffs too.
This is going to be ultimate down. It's only for body slam crowd control. And it looks like Licorice may take more damage than he wants here. Zazel being forced off by Piglet on the top side. Multiple fights happening here between just the members of eUnited and Team Liquid. And it looks like Team Liquid gets the better of that. The teleport down, and Lorlo now has advantage in that situation with a wave right in reset.
Yeah, there was no ultimate from Licorice. He had used it before in a one-on-one, but blows the teleport, doesn't blow a flash off of a body slam there, but he gets Matt and Double Lift to blow some extra summoner spells, and that's going to be the Dragon going over to eUnited. They're down a little bit, 1,300 gold, but they still have that mid turret standing. So that's not gold falling over. And I like that what they're doing now is they're rotating their bottom lane to bleed their mid lane now, and they're rotating their Vladimir to the bottom side of the map. This, from Fox, this is where you just need to get out, or you need to have a faster rotation. Hemoplague, right there, almost. You saw like 346 HP come up right then, but there's a wild growth coming through.
Yeah.
There's all this extra damage, and Doublelift was there much earlier than Definitely ever would have been.
So the split happens as you say. Should be all right. No potion actually being chugged by him right now. And that's being fired. Why is he even in range? Piglet knows he's going to go down from Gilius and gets the valiant attempt of saying, I need to do all the damage I can. 1 for 1 in the retribution.
I'm like, Gilius, man, what? You just kicked him over to your guy. Definitely. Ends up dying there. I mean, there was still another Spirit Rush available.
Let's see it again.
Man, that's the instant replay. We got to see that again where he gets charmed, definitely gets all in. That's 1 Spirit Rush, drops out turret range. That's 2. Kicked over, helped out. Thought he may be able to actually finish him off there in time. But nope.
Piglet says, I'm in. I'm going deeper.
We have to go deeper.
There's no getting out for science. 3-1. Fox now getting a little bit of love in a 2v1 situation.
Zazel actually had Ignite.
There's a polymorph there the last few shots. Crimson Rush is not going to be enough. In the moment he gets to the bot lane, he's taken out with an Ignite down. And bot lane turret will follow, just as he did. Piglet with that turret prepped with the rest of the team in mid, so expect the outer 3 to go down fast here for United.
Ignite there onto Fox, actually being blown from himself, but not getting a counter kill. And that's going to be that bottom turret, like you said. So that first turret of the game is actually going to be that bottom one. Mid is primed to go down as well. That's just a lot of that tempo that got rubber banded back, because that mid lane, that could have been a kill onto Piglet without definitely going down. I looked at it again. Zazel still had exhaust the whole time, didn't blow it, and didn't stop the Ahri damage from coming through and being really, really heavy onto Deftly. So they lose their AD carry, then they can't push anymore. And lose bot side. Gilius, though?
Oh.
What? Oh, he cloaked.
Oh, tried to do the double kick and get himself some range. And the hit in from Rainover cloak on the ultimate.
Yeah.
Not allow him to do it.
At that point, you might just go for the Lulu and try to kick him and get a real fast one, but
yeah.
Feels like the Lulu might be a little bit too tanky with the 2 HP items. He tries to go for Rainover, but he cloaks, uses the ultimate, and then he can't get the kick.
See where they rotate here. Looks like Fox could find a little bit from Rainover. Piglet's still going to keep mid push. They have eyes right now on Definitely and Zazel, so they'll actually go for the blue buff. Fox won't be the target. Doublelift says he's pinging in. Teleports up from low if they have the wards that can go deep enough. Good eye from Rainover as United try to save their jungle.
Yeah, that went over.
Blue buff.
Fox still gets it, so he gets the CDR. But that's all he really gets for it. And now this turret is going to get auto attack down here. There's another for TL.
It makes it so hard to do things when what you just saw, eUnited is fending off just Rainover in the jungle, and the rest of the team of TL has free time to do whatever they want around the map. It makes it so hard to come back.
Yeah, Gilius is really just dropping the ball here. Tried to make a play, but then that play got completely shut down. And so the rest of United just kind of stall out. They wait. They're trying to just pick up scraps here. Definitely down in CS. Top lane down slightly. But Fox in the mid lane, he's up, but not up in pressure. You can get as much CS as you want, but if you aren't providing pressure for your team or a pressure point, which like Piglet has, it's not worth that much, because Rainover gets to play the way he does. A lot off of Piglet's pressure. The guy's up at that turret, getting it down to about 2/3 HP before anybody even sees it by himself. And that's just causing so much for eUnited to have to deal with.
Yeah.
That Rainover can invade. He knows that Piglet will be there a little bit faster. He's the Ahri, so he can roam a little bit quicker too. And I gotta say, TL, they made a whole bunch of changes middle of the split when they were looking at last place. They were looking at 10th. It was like, all right, well, we got to change something. They started changing a whole bunch. New coach at the end, new mid laner, new AD carry. And
it wasn't plug and play. It did take, I'd say, a few weeks, which is still pretty crazy that they were able to do it, but a week or so to get this team online to where they would cooperate well.
But the whole thing is they just really want to stay in the LCS. Oh! Got Matt.
Gonna be Gilius getting hit up first. Great out by Double Lift. Fox tries to chase, but he's under the turret now, and the fight goes on to Lorlo. Huge tank as he teleport flashes in to make sure the disengage is there, and if the team wants back in, he's got the
Piglet.
hook. There's one. Piglet can now re-engage on the team. Definitely gets hit. Heal comes in from him. Zazo's actually exhausting and locking down Piglet now, but he's able to get out of the fight, and now they're going back in one more time. The wave will stop him, and it looks like if eUnited stays, they go down with the turret.
Yeah, that turret pretty low already, I believe. It's like half HP. Now they have to kind of hang out here. That Mountain Drake coming back up soon. 10 seconds on that. That's about 2/3 on that turret. But yeah, Fox is going to be able to clear this minion wave out. Has Luden's Echo completed. Oh, he's going to find Lorlo. Lorlo has to get away.
Success.
But he won't have the teleport for the Mountain Drake, so this is going to delay the back, add pressure to the top side of the map. And this arrow comes soaring through, hits Matt. The kick onto Double Lift, but Gilius doesn't have damage or enough damage to really do anything. And this is one of the deceptive things about those builds that we've been talking about with the Blade of the Ruined Kings, with the Black Cleavers. You're sitting on a Black Cleaver that's got like 400 HP on it. You have the Phage, you have the Kindle Gem, and so he's really tanky, and Double Lift gets to skirt this fight the whole time and wait for Piglet to come into the fight, who then picks up deftly after he flashes away. And it's pretty easy to single out there with a Spirit Rush afterwards. The TL looks like they're first here.
They do drop down to the Mountain Drake.
Interesting that they got there first.
I actually see another Mountain Drake as well. Yeah, top turret was left alone, and they decided for the objective. Whoa, what? All right, you can see how hungry eUnited are for kills, as well as not having too much vision, but if you can get a kill in the middle of the map, they're going to want to take it right now, knowing they're so far behind. They will do snap judgment, and it almost worked.
They want those picks.
Yeah.
It's how the comp should be played. The Ashe, though, a little bit harder to do it on than the Jhin. The Jhin can just use the ultimate, use the Deadly Flourish for pretty much the same effect in a one-off pick.
True. Lorlo is going to call a little respect of eUnited down to that bot lane soon. His teleport is not up, so he may just either hang out and push that lane. It looks like he's actually going to back. Yeah, like they're ready to force a fight.
Yeah, Licorice has to come down here, and I gotta say, Lorlo's been doing work in the top lane. Licorice lost the Nautilus versus Gragas matchup. Now he's playing the other side of it. He's down in CS, and there wasn't really an opportunity for him to ever get a kill on Lorlo, maybe one time. But by the time that his Sheen comes through, I think it's too little too late, and Lorlo's already sitting on a Glacial Shroud. So has armor, and it's not going to be like he's getting completely clobbered.
You basically shield all the front-end damage from Gragas anyways, and then he has to do it again just to get by your W.
Yeah.
If you're not in front of him in advantage. So like you said, that gets pretty tough. You can still disengage a fight, kind of displace Team Liquid here. Very hard to do so to a team that can dash and speed each other up. So the Gragas ultimate has to really be on point here from Licorice in the game.
Oh, top lane though, I think there's going to be a fight here. They're looking for Double Lift, Rainover, and Matt, the Fox.
Oh, Chemoplay comes in with the big heal. Is it going to give him enough to get under the turret? Oh, he goes in for the flash. Just misses the grasping root as well. Gilius now looking for a 2v1 situation. Gets pushed back on Polymorph. Eats the culling, goes in for the kick. Almost past Licorice. He goes down. Double to keep himself alive. The cask not doing any damage this far into the game. And now Licorice goes down for his own tasks in that fight. An unfortunate way for eUnited to come about in these fights.
Yeah, but that might be Baron. They have the tanky Lorlo running on over here, and there's only Zazel left. He's going to walk right into a charm. Oh, flash over from Piglet. He really wants this.
One auto.
Blast on himself back in.
Bang, boom. Thank you very much, ma'am. No, they're saving the blast code for later plays.
For later, all right.
12-2 here.
Yeah.
TL taking over on these games. Ash Arrow down, no chance of stopping this or contesting. And 21 minutes in, only quicker by every game, TL picks up Baron.
Been a ridiculous game so far for TL. Up 10 kills. And they spot this, Fox spots this, doesn't get a Crimson Rush off at the start there. Doesn't get a Q off, gets it off afterwards. And then, nice from Rainover. dips out. Fox is hurting himself by casting the E, and then it's the flash forward and the kill pick up there. And Gilius goes, okay, I guess I don't have really any options. Goes back in with the flash, or with the kick onto double lift, and then Licorice can't get the body slam and the damage follow-up on double lift. Blows the ultimate, and it still isn't enough there. And yeah, Piglet, we saw it go into the backside of the fight and get a pick. And when you don't have perfect vision, and you can see TL have this jungle lit up, when you don't have perfect vision, yeah, you end up in a spot where the Ahri can pick you so easily.
It was nice. Like, no, you cast Foxfire before you left.
There's an executed there as well. You know, don't draw too much attention to it. Poor Matt.
So Lorlo on the top side now. You can see eUnited trying to kind of call an audible, say, Licorice, you need to go back top. We need to stop this. That spreads them thin on the bot side. Good wards will keep Rainover from getting a pinch that could be too much trouble. And we'll see how eUnited can now stave off the aggression of Team Liquid as their wards encroach even further into the jungle, and the rotations get that much quicker.
Yeah, and this is just one of those textbook differences between LCS and CS teams, where once they have that advantage, the snowball is just immense. The way that they were able to get early kills, play off Piglet, play off Rainover, and then really extend that. After Gilius messed up the bottom side of the map too, where Double Lift and Matt, this is really their first crushing in the bottom lane that they've been able to do.
I mean, you see the disparity in the length of the games, right? As soon as TL gets a lead, they quickly go for the objectives. They hit them. eUnited actually did get quite a nice lead from Gilius, from the rest of the team playing well, but to act on that lead continued to take a lot. You saw the defense of Liquid saying, we've been in this position, we kind of know how to turn it around. Didn't happen in game 1, but they were ready 2, 3, and here in game 4. Now Team Liquid looks to pressure the base. 12-2, 25 minutes in. Fight on the Piglet in the mid lane. Can keep himself safe. Redemption comes down from the side lane as Matt pulls himself over for a little bit more help. Rainover ult in as they're just able to pretty much flex their muscles here on the front doorstep, and eUnited has to wait for a perfect opening over to Piglet. Wild growth onto him. They get bounced out. Chemoplague shouldn't take him down so he can stay in the fight, but Fox is still looking for the kill. Puts himself in the pool, gets Lorlo down. The tank isn't there, and Piglet still wants to stay. They could definitely make a mistake here. No wards over the wall, though. The chances eUnited has are just on the edge of their base, yet they don't know it.
And they get to just stand here and deal damage to this. Double Lift hasn't moved in a long time. He just actually just right-clicked it, and nobody did anything to him. They really couldn't. Nobody walked up to fight him. He has the Lulu backing him up. And now it's a Mountain Drake that's on the table again. So this will be the second one for TL as they go pick that up, or with Rainover especially being on duty for that. It's just a crushing victory so far for TL. Across the board, no lane is in any bit of a deficit here. It's just that mid lane where it's kind of even in CS, but Piglet has had more split pushing pressure, more pick potential, the burst with the Lich Bane. And so eUnited, they were looking really good in the regular season of Challenger. Dropped in the finals to Gold Coin, ended up second, so now they're playing TL.
It's also a much more fast-paced game for 2, 3, and 4. That's what you're saying, a 50-minute game for eUnited to kind of work off mistakes. They had waves in better position. If they were to find a mistake, then only the waves got pushed by TL, right? Here, TL's waves are already at eUnited's base. Those mistakes are happening much quicker here because they're forced by Team Liquid. And in the 30-minute phase of gameplay, we see TL being much more aggressive and favored.
Yeah, you got to go for those fast plays. You got to go for the jugular riv. Make sure that you end the game. And even if they messed this up, TL, they still have another game, and they also already have a 13,000 gold advantage. You have to mess up multiple times in a row. So they will feel less pressure right now. And I like this from Rainover. He goes really hard. He's going for, he's got a BF sword in his build and a Guardian Angel. So he's just looking for closing damage here. Oh, another arrow not connecting there from Deathly.
Flashed out and then ulted for Rainover, but he's going to be able to jump into the fight still. They can go on to Licorice to start things off. Double Lift gets kicked right into the fight for him to live. He has no focus now from eUnited. Even the ADC kicked in. Cannot be acted on with the speed that Team Liquid is acting on their engage. Now on to the Nexus. they're going to be going for it.
Yeah, that might be TL moving on to the winner's decider match tomorrow to get their LCS spot back. eUnited putting up a bit of a fight here, but I think that's it, Riv. I think that's going to be the deciding game 4.
A great game won by eUnited, looking at 3 sub-30-minute games for Liquid as they push themselves into the winner's match for the promotion tournament, looking to get that spot back into the LCS. And at 27-47, 16-3, Team Liquid move on to the winner's promotion match.
And that just looks like business as usual. Game number 1, eUnited got a lead, 50 some odd minutes to close that out. 2, 3, and 4. Those games, 27 minutes for them, around that for all 3 of them. Systematic closing after they had lane advantages that converted from the jungle, picked up early turrets, and TL was able to cover for some weaknesses in other members' plays every now and then.
Yep.
We saw Matt struggle, and then he went, okay, I should just gank mid a whole bunch in game 2. Worked out for them. The bottom lane started off 0-2 and 0-4-0 in the previous set, and they still were able to recover. Reignover was able to help carry. Piglet stepped up, won in CS multiple times, and so he wasn't the same type of weakness that we thought he would be. He was actually a strength for the team.
Absolutely.
The middle turret was always super low. The first time we saw it, it's like, what's going on? They had so much pressure.
That's Piglet. I mean, as an AD carry, he loves to do it right, transfers it to the middle lane, and the mechanics follow through as well. Shout outs as well to the strength of eUnited that they brought out in the first game. I think they actually almost were a little kind of mentally tired as they went into 2 to 3 to 4 because we saw such acute and perfect plays coming out of them. Azazel hitting those Stranglethorns and the grasping roots as well. Plays to him, but then left up, that was just TL saying we need to avoid him. So there's a lot of power coming out of that lane as well.
Yeah, like Zazel had a really, really good game 1, and then game 2 looked a little bit shakier, but was still good. And then game 3 and 4, it looked like they were a little bit taxed, the fact that the momentum was swung back at them. But I will also say that Gilius, game 1, went for all of those aggressive, risky plays, and they worked. A lot of them worked. At one point, he's like 5 kills, 5 deaths. Okay, so he's setting his team up. Then it got to the point where he did those again, but Reignover was there. They dies to the turret bottom, like level 3 this game. Gives a kill over to double lift. Previous game, it was like almost the same thing where Gilius is like overextending, but he only has that lane to gank really, and he has to cover for mid. And then as soon as that messes up, he feels like he has to do a little bit too much. Like that was the thing there that made me go, okay, Gilius is trying a little bit too hard because he would have got those 2 flashes bottom, both doubles and mats.
Right. It was knowing you had the lead and backing off. It seems like they actually wanted it, but a little too much when they should have pulled back. So now we're going to head over to the analyst desk for a full series breakdown from Dash and Freak.
That's right, a full series breakdown. Games 1 through 4, Team Liquid winning 3 in a row there, right after a pretty tough loss, long, lengthy, tough loss in game 1. They strike back with 3 pretty decisive wins, this third one being the most decisive of them all. And of course, this puts them one step closer, 1 series away from re-qualifying for the LCS. Let's talk about how they did it. I think the big members that we want to talk about, Reignover, Double specifically. We mentioned in game 1, Reignover a little bit lackluster, really started to warm up in game 2. 3 just the same, and here 4 once again looking a lot stronger.
Absolutely, and this is a team that is dominant in lane. They have pound for pound, I would say, better players overall, and Reignover was the glue that kept it together. When he wasn't keeping it together in game 1, you saw those lanes get exploited. Gilius had some really great ganks, and once he cleaned up, once the rest of the laners realized they needed to play a bit more defensively, then he was there to counter gank. You saw in this game 3, for example, that gank in the bot lane. Gilius gives away the kill, and then Reignover was there to blow the summoners back and be properly aggressive there for the counter ganks. And again, that is on Doublelift and Matt, for example, not playing too far up that gank doesn't turn them around.
Right, but to Zyrene's point, it really was, establishing the pattern for Gilius there. Reignover recognizes that he's going to be hyper aggressive in this series. He's going to look for ganks and snowballing lanes. Reignover responds in kind in the following games to look for a farming route that would put him in counter jungling position or counter ganking position so that he could always get an advantage off the back end of an aggressive play from Gilius.
Yeah, and on this graphic, you're seeing that the game 4 stats aren't as good because everyone was winning by this point. It was no longer about Reignover because the whole game is collapsing, but his game 3 and 2 stats were both miles above what the game 1 stuff was, 80% plus KP, and he, I think, helped catapult the comeback. At least his stats showed it.
Again, important to recognize that although he had a 69 CSD at 20 in game 1, it was kind of forfeiting any opportunity to be a part of action or kills and assists.
Yeah.
And therefore, he was basically saying, I'll take an advantage for myself while the rest of my map loses. As is mentioned here in game 4, the whole of his map is winning. So, of course, his numbers look a little bit less impressive as it's a dominant win from the entire team. But it's not just Rainover, right? Because you're going to need another element to craft these victories. Let's look at Doublelift in the bot lane. This guy was purely dominant tonight across all 4 games, even in their loss game 1.
Yeah, always good, always just consistently strong performer. I mean, Matt, in back-to-back games, gave away a kill flashing under the enemy turret, and Doublelift was still consistently strong, up CS the entire time, getting good recalls, getting good damage up. But Doublelift, you can see game 1, 2, 3, and 4, double-digit CS leads.
Yep.
At 15, which is already like a fairly early timestamp, with his support giving away kills half the time, with getting ganked half the time as well, Doublelift was every single game amazing.
And varied matchups, right? It wasn't like they were running the same two, same
he was
two
playing
pairs.
good laners. It was Caitlyn and Lucian a whole bunch.
Right.
He is playing strong laners, but you still have to pilot those champions well, and Doublelift did. He was premierly good.
Ultimately, though, when it comes down to the discussion of player of the series, is going to go to Rainover. Doublelift was that form of consistency for them, even in the loss from the bot lane, but the team didn't win until Rainover started getting into the game.
Sure, and I think it's very close. Honestly, you can debate which one it is, but you're right. Rainover obviously was very high impact. I mean, once they had that game 4 snowball, he did like third on BF sword and starts like really just like trying to break the game open. So, you know, deserved for Rainover, I really do believe. Overall, I think the team as a whole played great.
All right, but at the end of the day, Team Liquid comes away with the victory, which puts them 1 series away from requalifying for the LCS. They'll, of course, play the winner of our other matchup that's taking place tonight, tomorrow. And then, of course, our losers will play as well. So nobody's eliminated yet, and I think that's the major thing for both of our, losing teams to take away from today is how do we rebound in just 24 hours to come back tomorrow and craft the first of 2 series victories that it will require to qualify for the 2017 summer split.
Right. So for the EUnited side of it, I think they actually should be playing around Licorice a bit more. I really liked him throughout the Challenger playoffs, and I've liked him so far this series as well. I think Gilius needs to calm the heck down, focus on 1 lane at a time. I think it should be the top lane, not those crazy ganks bot lane to get himself killed. Gilius should, I know he's a good jungler, but instead of trying so hard to gank, try to track the opposing jungler, fight around the top jungle, around where Licorice is, when he's playing the Kennen and the Rumble and things like this, like he's getting lane dominant champions. Play around that side, a bit more reserved. Just take the smart, always correct calculations. Maybe be willing to play a Graves or Rengar that farms and is happy to farm in the early game, and then use that to win the game. Fox is okay. If he's up against Phoenix, I think he's still going to lose that lane, so you can't go through mid. And the bot lane, I guess if you're not playing against Doublelift, you maybe can play through them, but you pick a side lane to play through, and you be a bit more reserved, and through those factors, I think EUnited can turn it around.
Right, some thoughts for improvement for EUnited on the side of Team Liquid. I think if they put up the same kind of performance tomorrow, they will be a shoo-in for the NALCS. Of course, they'll be playing the winner of the other series, as was mentioned, which we're going to throw you over there right now for Game 4 between Envy and GCU. Enjoy.
Already a